Get on your grind, shorty K.
I gave them something to believe in, you know they ain't believe it. Tried to show them the vision, they ain't zoom in to see it. Told them about these heights, they said it's too high to reach it. And that had me feeling like Mike, I told them you gotta beat it. See, it's diamonds in your soul, but you gotta dig a lot deeper. See, all of our minds been exposed, but I've been changing the frequency. Sending my prayers and affirmations, way past where them eagles be. What I learned in my returns is not all things you need to see. You gotta feel it, the negative talk, the negative thoughts, and you gotta kill it. I know that it's hard and it leaves scars and it ain't appealing, but you gotta heal it. There's lessons in every little layer, but you gotta peel it. Cause the best way to get some air is removing your ceiling. Look, trust me, I know cause I did it. Hit rock bottom, looked around like damn, what the fuck I do with it? I remember the levels and picked up my shovel and I started digging and digging and digging until I got dizzy. And trust me, the spirit been busy. I'm back and I'm paid and I'm busy. So feel like I'm acting the way that you get it. This is for back in the day when they just shit it. I gave them something to believe in, you know they ain't believe it. Tried to show them the vision, they ain't zoom in to see it. Told them about these heights, they said it's too high to reach it. And that had me feeling like Mike, I told them you gotta beat it.
Yes, Zersky, peace, love, and light. It is the God, Lord Christopher, the Living Survival Manual, and I'm back with another download straight from the cosmos. Remember, someone has to see your greatness. Why not start with yourself? Stay blessed, always finesse. Definitely trust the Most High's process, the truest keys to success. Hey, listen, man, we have a special episode today. Today we're back to doing, interviews and having individuals come up to educate us on some amazing topics. Before we even get into the energy, before we even get into the vibe, like, comment, share, and subscribe, man. That's how we get into the algorithm. That's how we continue to run our numbers up. That's how we continue to get exposed and get all of this education out into the world. So that's very, very much appreciated. Today is going to be, again, something really cool, something really dope, something that I felt was needed. I felt that we all needed a refresher of, being educated and exposed to individuals within our community that understand a lot about their craft, understand a lot about the topics that they're passionate about, and to also bring relatable faces on. Once we get to the point to where we're able to highlight amazing superstars, even though this individual that we're bringing up is a superstar as well, that's when things will continue to progress and things will continue to elevate. But again, like, I love being able to meet people again in my community and hearing their stories, hearing their backgrounds, seeing all of the things that they have mentally, physically, and spiritually went through. And, just having me understand, like, everyone has a testimony. Everybody has the ability to see their greatness and, push to new heights. So the more and more I get individuals up to tell their story, I feel that it will make this show more personable. I feel like it will allow people to understand that this is your guys' platform. Like, again, I say it multiple times. This platform isn't for me. I utilize it to, of course, get education out, and I backplay some of these episodes so that I can constantly motivate myself. However, the idea was to create a platform for people to have a voice, for people to see their greatness, and for people to educate others on how they can achieve, the ultimate goal and desires and visions, whatever you have, right? So it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a blessing. Before I bring it on, I'm going to go ahead and go through my quick disclaimer, and then we're going to get into the action, okay? So the vibes here at SYG Studios are to motivate, educate, and enlighten our people to achieve greatness through investing in themselves. Everything is high level. What we think, what we say, how we feel, and definitely how we act. But before we get into the energy, take the time to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We love engagement over here and understand that a village pushes the trend, not just one individual. So the support is much appreciated. Also, take the time to visit the link. Join the SYG community on all social platforms. You can book one-on-one consultations to obtain personal guidance, business marketing resources on how to start your brand, and so much more, right? Our aim is to not only grow the brand, the legacy, but reach at least 500,000. I know it's a big number, but I'm going to get there. 500,000 to a million individuals who want, need, and are seeking the knowledge to live a more abundant life. Now, with all the information being provided, I do want to again send out this quick disclaimer. Please take the time to do your own research, family. It's very, very vital. My content is intended to be used for motivational purposes only. So please, please, please do your own research. Always do your own analysis based on your own current circumstances. Now, this is my favorite part. Y'all already know. We got to step into our God body energy. Now, essentially how we do that, you feel me? We got to inhale peace. And then when we exhale, we release all of the negativity that is harming us and putting us in these wicked, mental states, spiritual states. So when we release or exhale, we are allowed to receive that growth and ultimately see our greatness. So let's go ahead and step into our God body energy meditation. We're going to inhale peace. Exhale to receive growth. Now, ultimately, see your greatness. All right, here's what we're learning and tapping into today. Today, again, we're going to have a special guest. She's going to come up and, be a part of the whole show. So we're going to go over the topic of the day, which is self-encouragement. Of course, we're going to go over the season that we're currently in, which is transitioning and making a change. I call this the great transitioning. And then for the new upgrade, she's actually going to be able to educate us on something that I feel is very, very vital, especially when it comes to our children, our adolescents, and understanding, the mind on the spectrum. She's very passionate and very knowledgeable about children on the autism spectrum. And I felt like it was a perfect time to be able to, bring awareness to that and understand that these kids, man, they're very, very intellectual. They're very smart. They're outside what we call normal. And there's a reason for that. A lot of people from base just of when I'm growing up and things of that nature, going through the school system, they train you to be a follower. They train you to be this normal person. They define the odds, they defy the odds. They embrace who they are. They stand on who they are. They don't take any crap from anyone when it comes to like their creative abilities, when it comes to their ability to learn and even educate others. You all know that I've been in the mental health field for a decade as well, and being able to work closely with these children, I learned so much on how to view the world, how to, access parts of me that I didn't even know existed. And I felt like it would be a beautiful upgrade for us to learn. Then we'll go into 100 days of thought-provoking questions. We're on day 34, and then we'll leave out with words of wisdom. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the special guest, Miss Claudia Bandy. And, we're just going to get active. We're going to have a vibe. We're going to chat like we always do. And, this is just going to be a safe space to, enlighten everybody and motivate everybody on different things. All right. So without further ado, we're going to bring up Miss Claudia.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm really excited about today. I don't know if you can see the big grin from ear to ear right now. But
Right.
yeah, I'm very excited about today. Again, I felt as though you had so much knowledge and you had so much wisdom within you that people should hear. Not only from you being so passionate about kids that's on the autism spectrum, but just us in conversation, hearing your story and hearing how you persevered through so many things. I felt like it was definitely important that I got you on here to talk about self-encouragement as well, and how you were able to utilize that in your life, and that propelled you to who you are today. So again, I appreciate you coming on. And we're gonna go. And we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So the topic of the day is self-encouragement, right? So before we actually go into like an actual definition of self-encouragement, what does self-encouragement mean to you, Claude?
Self-encouragement means so much to me. To me, it means your inner voice, you know, your essence that's connected to the universe, to God.
Right,
But you have to be able to listen to it, get quiet enough to hear it.
right,
Uh, to me, it's being able to look at yourself and go, okay, this is hard, but I got this.
right,
So
right.
facing that and just being like, okay, you know what? We're gonna learn it. We're gonna learn it. Like
Mhm. Yep,
even with
exactly.
my kids, I'm like, I see that you're struggling and you're on the struggle bus, but we got this. Like, and I encourage them, and they're, they could see, you could see them like working so hard, and I'm like, you got this. Like
Yeah, 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 and that's important. I feel like it's very important to teach that to the youth, because that's how we learn as adults to be able to push through and persevere through certain things. If we don't learn it at a young age, it's gonna be challenging,
makes it
to
hard.
yeah, makes it
A lot,
harder.
maybe a
Right.
lot harder. Like, you know what I mean? Just depending on your perspective. So
Right, right,
yeah.
exactly. So let's actually go over the actual definition of self-encouragement as well for the viewers. So self-encouragement is the practice of motivating and reassuring oneself, often in times of difficulty, self-doubt, or when facing challenges. It involves using positive self-talk, affirmations, constructive thoughts to boost one's confidence, maintain positive mindsets, and persevere through adversity. Self-encouragement can be a valuable tool for building resilience and achieving personal goals. So, with that being said, I wanted to actually, ask you, like, what does having self-encouragement mean to you? Like, again, we'll get into it over the course of the episode, but what was the main reason that you felt as though you needed to develop self-encouragement, or what along your journey, had you to get into the mindset of, like, what, I need to believe in myself. I need to have more confidence and, just persevere and push through.
Well, I would say it started in high school. I experienced a sexual assault trauma
Mm,
that really affected me, like greatly. And it rocked my world, and it took me years to develop it, because along with that trauma, not only dealing with that, but also learning how to have discernment within myself.
mhm,
You know what I mean? And I had to be able to realize what energies were affecting me and how they were affecting me, and
mhm,
how I needed to have the discernment to be able to, remove myself if need be, to
mhm,
not be around said energy, because we're all energy. It all affects us. We all affect one another. It's part of interconnection.
right,
But if you're not able to hold the boundaries within yourself and say, I love you as a human being, but I really can't be here for you right now.
mhm,
Or, I don't know how to deal with this right now. So I need to remove myself, and I need to take a few minutes to recenter,
mhm.
maybe a few hours, maybe a couple days.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
for
took
sure.
me years to build, and the what I always tell my mom, the beauty of me is that my personality is really goof troopy,
Mhm.
and I'm very resilient at heart
Right,
because of my love for humanity. But trauma's trauma. It shocks the mess out of you.
right, right,
You have to learn to deal with it. And to me,
right.
that's what self encouragement is. It's saying, this was I don't know if I can. This is a really like crappy thing that happened to me. I'm so used to my kids. I'm like, can I curse? Like,
Yeah, no, you look, this is an open space. However you feel like you need to get your energy out, you can do so.
But you know, like looking at different things, be like, this shit sucks.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And this is, you know, especially, you know, being a single mom now, like this shit's hard as hell.
Mhm.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Right.
You know, and being able to say, okay, it sucks and this hurts, but I know I can do this because I've survived
Mhm.
so much before. And it's only made me stronger,
Right.
better.
Right.
Just like I can handle it now. Like
Right.
I'm good. And I know that I'm good as long as I trust myself, trust my instincts, and trust energy. Pay
Right.
attention out. There's this book called The Unbound Truth, A Woman's Guide to Unbound Power. And I'll tell you a bunch of books. Or
I like that. Yeah, we definitely love that. You
but
know,
it's called, it's by Cassia Urbaniak. I might be slaughtering it. That's my bad.
it's
But
okay.
she is, I mean, she's phenomenal, and she's a dominatrix. Her professional life was being a dominatrix, and while she was studying to be a Taoist nun.
Mhm.
And so it goes into, she teaches you in the book how to have attention out, especially people who've experienced sexual trauma, whether you're male or female. I think the book can go for both.
Right.
But it's a beautiful book, and being able to have the strength to build the strength within myself by
Mhm.
dealing with the trauma,
Mhm.
and then being able to say attention out. I'm paying attention,
Right.
you know, and truly, you know, be inquisitive about other people's energy because it affects you.
Right. 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 So during those moments, you know, it just brought me to my next question. Like during those moments where you weren't your best, right? What were like, I guess, your top three steps that, you know, kind of helped you along that journey to develop self-encouragement? Like, you know, did you have to, you know, maybe start going to church more? Was working out, you know, your thing? Was, you know, getting around a better support system, you know, like the Kickstarter to this all? Like what really was your steps to, you know, developing that self-encouragement?
Well, first, it was getting back to eating healthy, working out.
Mhm.
Dancing and singing are two of my big emotional outlets.
Got you.
You know, you know, I've reached a point in my life now where I don't care who's around me because it's something for my soul. I'm mindful. I'm
Mhm.
respectful of other beings.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? At the same time. But if I have the ability to have that set space, then I'm going to dance and do my workout
Right.
because releasing, you know, it especially, oh my gosh, like on a highly stressful day or just a highly stressful situation, whatever, you know, it's stressful.
Mhm.
But being able to go out and dance and to release that and make up the routines and have
Yeah.
be back to being a kid. You know, like me and my brothers used
Right.
to make up whole dances in the mirror in our bedroom. You know,
Right.
it was my backup dancer. Like you can
Right.
probably remember a few. Like you
Oh man, you're bringing back so many memories.
know, right? Like
Yeah.
just getting it. Like
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I remember trying to dance in front of the mirror like I was Michael Jackson, thought I was Usher, Marion. But
get
no,
it,
that is
get
cool.
it.
That is deep for sure.
But being able, you know, and knowing that that's something that I need, realizing that that's something that I need, because I push it under. I
Mhm.
used to, you know, everybody's staring at me or, oh, this isn't the normal thing to do, you know, like, you know, so I would make myself small.
Yeah.
And it was like, why? Like, you know what I mean? I need this. And
Right.
if you're going to hate on me for it, then that's you.
Right.
But I need this. And I know my soul needs this.
Yes, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? I'm good. Like, just leave me alone. Don't go hurt nobody, you know?
Right. Oh, you're hitting it right on the spot, man. Yeah.
But I mean, that's how you know what I mean? Like, and I own me because it was a hard road to know me and to continuously know me. We're always evolving,
Right.
constantly evolving.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I believe that those are amazing tips. Dancing, laughing, singing, being around support groups, working out, like you said, eating healthier. Like that was one of my huge things right there, eating healthy. And reason being, just looking at just like my family dynamic and just seeing how their energy was and understanding like, listen, a lot of our issues, especially mentally and spiritually, it comes from the things that we eat, right? Not to ramble on, but
Oh, you're good. You
once
are.
I started once I started learning, like, even just eating meat, right? These animals, they have to go through like some traumatic experiences. And in science, we learned that energy is what? Neither created nor destroyed. It just transfers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, I started understanding like, wow, like why am I waking up feeling depressed? Why am I waking up feeling angry? Why do I feel anxious? Things of that nature. And when I started, just doing research and understanding, like, yo, just by you consuming this meat, you're transferring that traumatic energy into yourself, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
I love that fact that just saying eating healthier, definitely dancing. Like dancing just has a way of just bringing or evoking something within you, right? Like you
Well,
just
we
put
all
on.
connect to music. It's music is so not only diverse, but I mean, just adverse. Just it's multicultural. Like, but we
Mhm,
can all to relate to some type of music.
mhm.
If only within music, you know, we can at least connect on that basis of it being music
Right.
and beat, and
Right.
like,
Yeah, yeah, like,
as
and
a
because I started understanding like, certain vibrations and frequencies within the music, they raise like what we call your energy points or your chakras, your vibrations, like how you stated in the beginning, we are all energy. So that energy responds to different sounds and different waves differently. If you're listening to a lot of hardcore negative energy all the time on the radio, that eventually you're gonna do something bad. That's just what
or
happens.
you're
But
just gonna feel bad, like
or
terrible,
feel bad, exactly.
just
But if
bad.
you like me, I love 70s music. You know what I'm saying? Like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Um,
Hmm.
the vibes back then were just different. I feel like it was real music. They had real words. They
I need
understood.
this on my foot, like.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Really, man. So nah, that's really key. So what I want to do as well, I want to actually go over a few tips for the viewers that can help them you develop self-encouragement, right? So one, you need to understand that developing self-encouragement takes practice and self-awareness, as we stated. Here are some tips that can help you build this skill. Number one is having positive self-talk. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. Replace negative or self-critical thoughts with positive and affirming ones. For example, instead of thinking I can't do this, say I can do this. And it'll give you and I'll give it my best shot. So again, say things like I can do this and I'll give it my best shot instead of I can't do this, right? Positive self talk. Number two, we have set a realistic goal. Set achievable goals that are challenging but attainable. Break them down into smaller steps and celebrate your progress along the way.
Yeah.
Achieving even small milestones can boost your self encouragement. Then we have use affirmations. Create positive affirmations that resonate with you. Repeat them regularly to reinforce positive beliefs about yourself and your abilities. Number four, we have visualize success, right? Imagine yourself succeeding in your endeavors. Visualizing positive outcomes can help build confidence and motivation. Surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with supportive and encouraging people who believe in you. Their optimism and support can bolster your self-encouragement. Practice self-compassion. Be
Yeah,
kind and compassionate towards yourself, especially when you make a mistake or face setbacks.
we're
Treat
all
yourself
human.
with the same, yep. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend in a similar situation. Yep. Last couple, stay persistent. Understand that setbacks and failures are a natural part of life. Instead of seeing them as reasons to give up, view them as opportunities to learn and grow. Keep trying and remember that setbacks do not define your worth. Last three, stay informed and prepared. Knowledge and preparation can boost confidence. If you're facing a challenging task, gather information and prepare as thoroughly as you can. Keep a journal. Write down your accomplishments, no matter how small, and your positive experiences. So again, it says write down your accomplishments, no matter how small, and your positive experiences. When you're feeling discouraged, revisit your journal to remind yourself of your achievements. And then last but not least, we have seek professional help. If self-encouragement remains a challenge or is significantly impacting your well-being, consider speaking with a therapist or a counselor like myself who can provide guidance and support. Remember that developing self-encouragement is an ongoing process. It may take time and effort, but with practice, you can cultivate a more positive and resilient mindset. Would you say that those are like very good tips? Like,
And
have you used any of those
I
for yourself?
I have used every single one. Like I
Yeah.
did not showed y'all around my house my grateful journal.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I keep it every day. I'm writing in it.
Is
And
that a drawing?
that's my son. That's my
Oh, okay,
writing.
okay, okay.
Not wet,
Yeah.
but I like it.
Do
You know,
you
my
do you
son
draw at
still,
all?
but it's, but it's I keep. I mean, every day
Right.
I'm writing a journal entry, or I'm talking about my feelings, or just doing my gratefuls. 4 gratefuls every morning. I
Mm,
wake up. I do my morning meditation. I have a routine. You have to have that.
right. Right.
And the minute that somebody disrupts your peace, which that is what it is when you decide to take in somebody else's energy, it's like,
Mm,
okay, is this worth the energy it's going to expend from me?
right.
And if they are, then yay, we're on a podcast. And if
Yeah.
it's not, then it's like, I love you as a being, but I cannot do it.
Right. Right.
I have to protect because I love me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And that was honestly like one of the biggest reasons why I ended up getting you on the podcast. We didn't really tell, how we met, but I've always seen your son in the community, and he was always very nice, right, to me and my dog. Can I pet your dog? I'm like, sure. If he wants you, I always let Paz choose. I don't ever just say yes,
right,
because sometimes, even though he's an animal, even though he's a dog, they have energy too. And
right,
if they don't want to be bothered, they're not going to be. But as we were walking, I was just, talking to him, and then I seen you working out outside. It's like you're getting your Zumba on. Right. And then we just started having conversation, and you just had a very powerful testimony about what led you into wanting to work out. And if you could, just for because I feel like this is something that people need to hear, right? If you could, and this all just goes based off of self-encouragement as well, but just tell them about why you wanted to get on that physical journey and investing that type of energy into yourself.
Well, I was married for 13 years, and I always wanted to help. I'm who my purpose in life is to heal. I'm a
Mhm,
healer,
mhm.
and I know that now. And so but I used to always try to fix everything and help out help
Yeah.
everyone out, save everybody. And it was like, no, you can't do that. you know? And so after, you know, after the affairs and I just was, you know, 2 kids, I was like, you know,
Yeah.
we need to get divorced because I'm not going to survive.
Yeah.
Like, and you're not either, because this isn't healthy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and being okay with that. And so being able to not only get through that stage of transitioning, but going into the stage of, you know, then being separated and, you know, learning this single mom life of 2
Yeah.
kids.
Right.
Because this shit is not for the faint of heart. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I told my mom the other day, I said, I wake up tired. Like,
Oh man.
well, it's not a bad tired though. It's
Right.
that,
Right.
like, I know I'm doing a lot, but I got this. You know what I mean? And I still take that time to sit back, to go to the river, you know, and walk and dance, and I eat tons of ice. That's my water intake.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, even at work, they're like, Claudia, you and your ice. And I'm like, y'all gonna stop hating on my ice. Like,
Right. Right.
you know what I mean? Because we're all, as part of human nature, we're all addicted to something. I don't care what, we all are, whether it's sugar or, you know, in my mind, it was like, if I'm going to have an addiction, I want it to be like to eating veggies and fruits, or, you know,
Yeah.
maybe pushing myself a little bit too hard in a workout every now and then. You
Right.
know, like
Right.
those.
Y'all listen, y'all can't see it right now, but when I tell you sis is, you feel me? She gets it in. She gets it in. She definitely gets it in and gets it done, you know?
Because I'm like, because you, and like I tell my boys, beast mode. Let's get in my client, beast mode.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what we're transitioning to. It's beast mode. Like, just, it's every human being has it. You just have to learn to be the controller of the, you know, turning it on and off.
Right.
And if you're not in control of it, then a lot of anger comes out.
Right. Right.
And if you're in control of it, but you never turn it on, then you're low energy and you're absorbing too much of other energies. And it's overpowering you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. Working out is everything to me. Like, I've had a friend tell me, it looks like you go into your own world. And I'm like, I really do.
Yeah. 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 So like kind of explain that to me though. Like, is the world that you visit, is it like solitary confinement where you're like in a dark room, or like what's your mindset when it comes to, you know, like pushing yourself?
It's crazy you ask this. So, because not many people do ask that. You're a good question asker. Like, but so I want to say, after my ex-husband's first affairs, I had 2 heart attacks. And when I went out and when I died, essentially, my heart stopped because they had to bring me back. Wow. Like, but when I did die, and I don't talk about this. Like, well, actually, I do to anybody, but it's different on a podcast. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
But when I died, I felt this lightness and this air and this, pure relaxation. And it was peace. It was complete peace. Because even though, you know, I'm not an imperfect human, I still carry God and the universe with me wherever I go. You know, and even in my lowest, darkest moments, he was still a big part of me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about dark.
Yeah.
He was still that light inside of me. So when I did die, and I felt that peace, that calm, and it was just white. It was like floating in clouds.
Mm.
And so when I came back to, I came back in the ICU, and, people, mask on my face, pushing air down my lungs and all this stuff, and then my kids came to see me in the ICU, and it was, I'm going to live for them. Live.
Yeah.
Truly live. And,
Mm-hmm.
and teach them how to.
Mm-hmm.
And really give them a really good basis.
Right.
Because it's hard to and I'm not perfect. I'm 1 out of 8 billion people.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I am anything but perfect. And I think perfection, Brene Brown, she says it the best. She's one of my favorite authors. Brene Brown, she says, I am a recovering perfectionist and an aspiring enoughness.
I like that. I'm a recovering perfectionist and an inspiring enoughness.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Brene Brown is amazing. She's one of my favorite authors.
Right.
But in reading the book, The Gift of Imperfection by her, and more profoundly, her book, Atlas of the Heart.
Alice.
Oh my.
Okay.
But, just
I'm gonna write
between
those
her
down.
and John Green. Oh, John Green's book, The Law of Human Nature. Oh my gosh. Breathtaking.
I actually have that book, and I haven't started it yet.
Oh my gosh. You're gonna love,
You're like the third person that has told me, like, it's
I've read that book like 10 times at this point. I just reread them.
Yeah. No, that's dope.
Something new, and I'm paying attention, and I want to take my time with each book. I feel like books are works of art too. Everything is a work of art that human beings have made. Look at what we've built over thousands of years.
Right.
Like, humanity is so beautiful and very malevolent.
Mm-hmm.
But being aware of the malevolency and seeing it, and then learning how to protect you.
Right.
Because that's necessary, especially if you know that, quote unquote, you're a sensitive person. At least that's what you've heard your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, because I'm also ADHD. So it's, hypersensitivity and social, struggles and things of that nature. It's no walk in the park either. Yeah. But learning how to deal with that and manage it and say, no, I'm not, I refuse to be perfect, but I am enough.
Right. I love that. I love that for you, Claudia. Now, and that honestly just brings us into our our next segment. You had mentioned that you, I guess, struggle, maybe ADHD is a challenge for you, I don't know, but you mentioned that, and you also have a passion for helping children that's on the autism spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So I know that you utilize a lot of self-encouragement, especially in that space. So let's actually dive into that. And the question is like, it is, what is your why? What is your why behind wanting to learn about the autism spectrum? Why is it such why are you so passionate about it and things of that nature?
Well,
this is the new upgrade of the day, family.
Well, why I am so passionate about it, it would be because I have 2 resilient, strong, imaginative, strong-willed, amazing sons that happen to be on the autism spectrum with the comorbidity of ADHD. And they have a mom who has ADHD.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's my job to teach them how to manage it, because it makes us different, not less than, not worse than or less than, but just different. We are different.
Right.
And yet we navigate the world different, being neurodivergent, because our brains don't calculate social norms and all of that the way society wants us to behave the same way. Even people with ADHD. But well, when my oldest was first diagnosed, I didn't understand autism at all.
Right.
I had went to nursing school, and it's crazy how much we don't learn about autism in the medical field as far as school goes. And so, I didn't really know what it was. My son had just been diagnosed. And at the time, because I was so young and dumb, I thought, because you do better. You do better when you know better. And I just didn't know what it was. So it was like, okay, I need to figure this out, because I need to be his biggest advocate, because my mom has always been my biggest advocate. And so being able to go back to school and basically I changed my entire career to ABA therapy, so that I could not only discover it and get to know it and understand it on some level, but also be able to navigate it and be their best advocates, be his best advocate. You know what I mean? And I can't navigate or explore something that I have no knowledge of.
Right.
So that was why.
Yeah.
And my, as far as, my purpose, or you said my purpose within autism, right? In my field?
Well, yeah. So it's, so I had asked, why, what was your why? And, yeah, like, I guess that kind of, with you telling us your why, you already kind of told us your purpose. I guess in the sense of, like, your boys being on the spectrum and things of that nature. I guess the next question would be, like, what must we know? Like, if I'm an individual, right, who knows nothing about the spectrum, what is something that you learned, right, in your research and in your studies that you think we should know so that we can have more awareness about it?
I would say, first and foremost, don't go off of any type of media, especially old media, as far as what is the name of that movie? The Rain Man.
Oh yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, they, especially if they haven't seen it, like the A-List, or the one about that I can't remember the name of it, that doctor, but not having such a
Are you talking
low.
about the TV show with the doctor? He
Yes.
was like a really good, like, he was able to, like, think of, like, what to do in that moment.
He was spatial, and he could visualize.
Yeah. I love that show.
Oh my gosh. But I would say, first and foremost, stay curious. Always be so curious, because if they had the way that their minds work, and we're all unique, what I mean, in our own right as human beings. And then when you add, something as beautiful as autism to it, it's like, even, I don't necessarily care for low functioning or high functioning, but even if you look at the low function, there's always deficits, and there's areas where they excel in. You know, sometimes you know, deficits are here. You know, success of different ideologies and understandings are here, but being able to, even with that, if you take the time to know what those things are that they're good at, if you take time to get to know them, to pay attention to what they like, things of that nature, like you can connect with them and learn so much from them just by the way that they perceive the world. You know, with the sensory input, and you know, different touches and different materials, the way they feel in the skin, the way different sounds affect them, the way, it's so much. It's just the way that their logic is set up,
right,
when they're rationalizing, or you know.
Can you give us an example? Let's just say, you know, in your personal life, give us an example of something that, you know, one of your boys would experience that we would perceive as being like unnormal. However, to them, it's just like, no, I just have a different perspective to what I'm viewing, what I'm feeling, what I'm touching, what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Well, like with my youngest, he's very I call him more connected to the primal side of our species nature. You know, because it's just, he just is like, he goes off of a lot of senses and touches and emotions. He pays very, very close attention to your body language, the way you move, the way you speak to him. Every aspect of it, he is like emphasized with him. So with with him, if he can feel you getting upset, or he can feel, you know, you being really sad, like it affects him tremendously. It's like a loud vibration over his body.
Right.
You know, and it's so hard for him to then, once that's triggered and he's scared, he's worried, all of the above, it triggers something in him to where the fight or flight.
Right.
And with him, since his is the more primal, his fight or flight is way more intense. You know what I mean? Like he has no problem, you know, just punching somebody.
Yeah.
Or
no, I get it. I understand. Yeah.
Like, you know, you can literally see that he really doesn't have the control over it, because he's learning it. He's learning that control. We do a lot of meditation. We do breathing exercises.
Wow.
You know, he is a calming elephant that reminds him
like that.
breaths. You know, because he needs that. You know, and it's because the world is so loud to him, emotionally, physically, on his skin. When he hugs you, he knows that you really need that hug.
Wow.
Like, he knows it.
He has superpowers, man. For real.
Both of my boys, they both, these vibrate, like these emotional vibrations that, I mean, they can pick up on who you are and just your being like that. Because they're both so connected to the primal. My oldest, he's a little bit more analytical than primal. You know, he's not quick to like lash out or things of that nature. But
right. I got you. He likes to think it through a little bit more.
He's gonna pay attention. He's gonna watch you. You know what I mean?
And you know, I can tell that because, you know, again, he talks to me all the time, right? And I was kind of gauging his mind. And I was like, so, you know, what school are you at? And I seen as we were walking, he was processing. He was like, I can't tell you that information. I was like, you know what? Very smart, because even though I know personally I'm a very, you know, nice person. I love kids. I love communicating and being social.
Right.
However, it's just like not everybody's gonna be like me, right? And some people might perceived to be just like me. However, they have different intentions. So for me to just see him, you know, go through that process of just thinking it through, like, hold on, like, you seem cool, but I'm not just gonna tell you my whereabouts
for a second.
You know, and I had told you, I was like, you know, that's very good, because a lot of kids out here, you know, like, again, I'm in the community. I like to do my patrol walks around just to get to know people.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't believe, like, they'll tell you where they live, you know, they'll tell you what school they go to, how old they are, their mom and dad's name, what car they drive, right? And it's like they don't understand that part of, like, listen, you know, I might be a good guy, but not everybody is like me. You shouldn't tell everybody these type. You shouldn't invite everybody into your space,
Right.
into your aura, things of that nature. So, you know, that was something really key that I wanted to point out. You know, like how these people, they think that because you're quote unquote on this spectrum, that you don't know how to process things correctly. You don't know how to think things through. You're very irate all the time. It's just like, no, like, they just have different triggers that move and shake them up versus us, right? If you ask me, we're all on the damn spectrum. Right? And a lot of us are on the low end, you know, on the low vibrational side. You know, a lot of us don't take the time to understand our emotions or understand our feelings, and or have that power within them. Like, for me, I'm an empath, just like your youngest. You know, I feed and I understand, like, when somebody needs that hug or somebody needs the words or motivation or encouragement. Like, I feel that. So I understand. And I feel like he's just gonna be a ball of just like energy for this world, because he's gonna understand people on a completely different level that they don't even understand themselves on. So that's
He's
very,
4
very
and he sees inside of my soul. Just,
exactly. You
you
know,
know.
and I learned that, you know, kids, when they look at us through their lens, they don't see like our physical body. They see energy, like you said, you know, and he sees that. He's gonna know, like, hold on, I don't mess with you. Do not come close. Do not come close to me, or you're gonna get a punch versus this hug today. Like, he sees that, and in respect to that, it's like he's protecting himself. You can't be mad at somebody that's protecting themselves, protecting their energy, protecting their space.
Right.
What my mom used to
Like,
always tell
I
me,
see you over here trying to be manipulative, and you think I'm
right?
okay with it. Like, that's a whole ass. I don't follow that social norm. That's a whole ass issue for me. Like,
Man, what? Like, I realized that, like, God gives us different, again, superpowers, right? And he didn't put an age limit on that.
no.
He didn't say, like, just because I'm 30 and he's 4, that I'm more, you know, I'm more intelligent in that superpower or in that space. No, like, I learned so much from children because they are in their purest forms. They're literally like
They're
they literally
human
just
nature,
yeah,
human nature in its natural form. You
exactly.
like you don't get any holds barred. You don't have any social norms. You don't
Right,
have etiquette. You don't have none of that.
right.
Kids are human nature in its rawest form, and
Exactly.
that's why like I love getting to study them. You know, and
Yeah,
I call it studying. You know, they're studying me too. Of course, that's
right.
part of nature. But we're always analyzing one another and paying attention. You
Yep.
know, so I just love getting to work with them every day, and they're so funny, and just the way they think, and you know some of the things they'll say, and you're
Yeah.
just like, I feel you, my guy. Okay, like, I totally get it. Like,
Uh-huh. For sure. For sure. So
this is
so
how I
how
dress.
can hold on one second. Siri keeps popping up. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, Siri keeps popping up and I'm not asking her anything.
Oh, she just being nosy over there
It's
listening
nosy as always.
inside.
But yeah, so essentially, right, just to continue on this path, like, as a, because I understand, right? But say I'm someone who doesn't fully understand. I'm just trying to, you know, learn about it, and say I want to help. right? How can I help? What is a something that I can do to help?
I would say, like, read. Okay, I have a bunch of stuff. Hold on. I would say to first read Navigating Autism by Dr. Temple Grandin, PhD, and Dr. Deborah Moore, PhD.
Temple Brandon, you said?
Temple Grandin.
Brandon.
She's a phenomenal writer. She's autistic herself.
Mm.
And she's a phenomenal writer, and she's done other books as well called Thinking in Pictures,
Okay.
and The Autistic Brain.
Okay, I'm gonna put these on the banner. You said Thinking and Pictures. You said The Autistic Brain.
Yeah, The Autistic Brain. And it's by Temple Grandin again.
Brain. And then you said Navigating Autism. Is that correct?
Yes.
I like it. I like it. And I'm gonna put the. How do you spell her last name?
It is GR. Let me bring it up just so I have it right. GRANDIN.
All right. I'm going to show this up here now. So we got books to read, Thinking in Pictures, The Autistic Brain, and Navigating Autism by Temple Grandin.
Yes.
Family, find that book, read those books, and educate yourselves more on autism. It is not what they put out in the media. Trust me. We both have had, our firsthand experiences with, children in that power. And it'll shock you on, again, how intellectual they are, how much of themselves that they know. Like, again, like even with her son being 4 years old, he knows himself. And if it's anything outside of him that isn't pleasing,
Kosher.
He's gonna let you know. But
Like,
even if it's something that is pleasing to him, he's gonna let you know. So like that's powerful though. This is something that I feel like people should know. And this is something that I feel like people should understand. Like, it's not what the propaganda or the media tries to put out there about these kids and these even adults who are on the spectrum. And I really appreciate you coming up and kind of shedding more light on it, and just being vulnerable about your boys and how they go through life with it as well. And and it's not like going through life with it. It's just a
It's
part
just
of. Yeah, it's a part of who they are. Like,
part of me. Like,
right.
you get the goof trip, and I don't
Right.
know what to say.
Right. No, yeah, that's that. So I really appreciate that. Do you is there anything else that you would like to elaborate as far as
I would
that?
say as parents of a loved one, whomever on the spectrum, that I'm gonna give you another book, the Whole Brain Child.
Okay.
That book is amazing, with just approaching kids differently, and the ideology of parenting. Dr. Shafali, she has this book called The Conscious Parent.
Okay.
And just address, and as parenting as a whole, try to see it as this is really our growth journey. They're teaching us.
Right.
That's what their beings are meant to do, is to teach us about ourselves, about life, and really making sure that we take care of that bond and protect that connection. Mm-hmm. Everybody deserves that type of loving connection and protection, Sure. So it's just being, aware of that. I mean, meditation is part of my mental health. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Meditation is a big part of that. And just realizing when you need to recenter, when you need to bring it back, when you have too much on your plate. I failed, throwing in the towel.
Right.
You know, my pastor was just talking about that this Sunday. Knowing when to throw in the towel. Like, I
Yeah.
have that, and I have learned that well. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I do it every day. I'm like, you got that. Like,
Right. Right. No,
that's
I get it. I get that. Now that's very powerful, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand when to just like step back, you know, take some time away from, you know, that particular situation, circumstance, whatever. Like how you say, throw in the towel, but that doesn't mean that you have to essentially quit. It's
right.
just learn how to, you know,
Have
just
to do
realize
it.
how I need to recalibrate a little bit. I need to I need to figure out a different process to this thing.
My pride is not so enormous that
Right.
I have to destroy everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm good, or everything.
Right.
Because I'm good. We're all connected. Like,
Right.
I am he and she is me and we are we.
Right.
So if I'm constantly, you know, not dealing with my own shit, that because there's this. Look, I'm gonna give you another book.
Another book?
Yeah.
I love it.
There's this book called "The Courage to Be Disliked" by Ichiro Kashimi, and Ichiro is the first name, and then Kashimi, Kishimi.
All right.
And it's
Right
a
here.
discussion between a theorist, he's already built his theory, and a student, and them debating that social, it's a social construct, or a way of being theory. So just they debate it, different aspects of it, how you flow through it. But it's a phenomenal book, and it's really being able to say, just protect yourself and own who you are.
Right.
Because most people that are shitty people, they know they're shitty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let them do all that work. Like, you know, like, eventually, no matter what you do to me, like your being is gonna show.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe in that.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I love it. I love it. No, that was amazing. That was powerful. That was some very insightful education. I like to say new upgrades, so I just, you know, received some new upgrades, some downloads, you know, from God's vessel.
we're all warriors, all
Right.
warrior goddesses.
Right. So no, that was dope. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna move into the last two segments. The next segment is 100 days of thought-provoking questions that we would ask the 1%, the 5%, the 10% of how they got there, how they stayed there, and how they reach back to, you know, help individuals like me and Claudia, who are attempting to be in that realm, right?
Healers.
Right, healers in that realm, financial gurus, whatever expertise that you're in, right? So today is day 34. So I've been doing it for 34 days, Claude. I have 100. So yeah, we're going to 100. So how do you prioritize your goals and focus on what truly matters? How do you prioritize your goals and focus on what truly matters? I'm gonna let you go first.
Thank
Ladies
you.
first.
How do I prioritize my goals and focus on what matters? I grow and build and keep connections with people that I love and adore, and that only add to my life. And when I meet someone new, I engage, I interact.
For sure.
I figure out, okay, universe, what's this for? Or who's this for?
Right.
You know, what am I learning? You know, and just being open to that. That's how I dictate what matters and what's important.
Okay, I like it. So For me, I think I've gotten more so into the space of writing down my thoughts, my goals and ideas. Because there was a point in time where it's like, I knew what my goals were and I knew what was really important, but I was the kid that felt like I could just keep it in my mind and I'll figure it out that way, right? Until I realized that it was, it was a plan for disaster. Like, right? So what I ended up understanding is that, once I started, writing my goals down and then like categorizing in them as far as like what's most important to me, what's least important to me, and just start moving, in that sequential order, or what matters to me the most, what is, not to say that doesn't matter, but isn't as high on the list,
Scale.
or scale, right? So that's what has helped me, prioritize my goals, and what truly matters is literally ranking them, like for instance, I'll have like a family goal, I'll have a financial goal, I'll have a career goal, right? Now, when it comes to those different goals or values, essentially, I guess in the time that I'm in or in the energy that I'm in, sometimes they fluctuate. Sometimes it's, family is most important at that moment. Sometimes my career and then family is second, in that moment, things of that nature. Most of the time, my spiritual energy or my spiritual journey is number one because I always want to make sure that I'm connected, with the Most High. I always say this to my wife and other women that I meet as well. I say, you guys have an advantage, right? I say
Right.
you guys have the ability to create from your mind and create from your womb, right? So
Mhm.
as men, we essentially have to, create from our mind and move in that way. But it's hard for us to do that if we're not listening to what we call, or what I would call, our coach. God's my Phil Jackson. He's my Bill Belichick. If I don't go check in with him to try to figure out what the play is, and I try to go out here and run this play on my own understanding, I might lose the championship, right?
It might not be that great.
Right. So yeah, like I just like to categorize, what's most important in that time, or what matters most in that time, or in the season that I'm in. Again, we're like in the season of what we will call the great transitioning. And I'm into numerology. I never told you this as well. I don't think I did, but um, the year 2023, when you add, because in Supreme or Life Mathematics, you add those numbers up. So you have 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3, because essentially there are only 9 numbers. So it's 1 through 9. Because if you ever notice, like in math, it goes 1 through 9 or 1 through 10, and then it just goes back up again. 11, 12, 13,
Right.
So I ended up doing like, a lot of research, especially during my own like understanding of trying to figure out who I was, and what life was about. I started realizing that numbers are tools of God. He can talk to you through numbers, just like he talks through people, like he talks to people through books, um, or even through the stars and the planets and things of that
Didn't
nature.
really
These are
know that.
tools. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7, right? And 7 in what is called life mathematics correlates to what we call God, right? It's like the year of God, pretty much is what we are in right now. And what that symbolizes is pretty much the veil being lifted from your eyes. Now everyone is supposed to be stepping into who they are, stepping into, how I did in the beginning of the show, stepping into your God power or your God energy, understanding your purpose, your mission, and what you're supposed to be doing right now. And we're in the great transitioning right now. September is the transitioning month, because we're going into the last three months of the year, or the last quarter of the year. And in the last quarter of the year, we're in what's called winter, right? They call it winter. But if you think about it on a deeper level, winter, if you look at nature is like the greatest classroom that you can be in. When you look at nature in wintertime, people, what do animals do? They hibernate,
Go
birds
in.
fly south, they go within. right?
Mhm.
They transform and game plan about, okay, what is this next year, which is spring, not January. But what is this next new year going to consist of? And 2024 is supposed to be the and it's the eighth year. So 2 + 2 + 4 = 8. And that number represents build and destroy. So in this next year, we're supposed to, the reason that we're in this God year now, we're supposed to know who we are so that when we step into the build and destroy year, we realize the things around us that we need to destroy so that we can build back up and create a better, life, future for ourselves, things of that nature, our family, other people.
Yeah.
So yeah,
How
like
around you matters.
yeah, yeah.
Great
So
deal.
so this was really good. So that's what matters to me. That's how I prioritize, my goals and things of that nature. I don't just, listen to gurus or listen to motivation. Like I go within, I ask God, okay, what season are we about to step in? How do I need to prepare? And this is how the podcast came about. Just me taking that time to just self-reflect and understand, like, look, I'm here for a reason. I know that this vessel that I'm using is temporary. I know I get my energy from something that's higher, of a higher source than me. What do I need to do? Right? I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna meet new people. I'm gonna do all these things, but at the end of the day, I still have, you know, somebody has said to me, stop acting like you don't have an expiration date. And that stuck to me the most,
We're
right?
all dying
Stop. Oh,
today.
yeah, yeah,
Have that mindset.
yeah.
We're all dying every day,
Exactly.
whether it's whatever,
Yeah,
cancer. We're all dying of cancer every day.
yeah, yeah.
Cancer, different things that we choose to affect us, and through no fault of our own. It's just, it is what it is, and it will be what it will be.
I heard that. So the last segment of the day we have, just to continue with it, is words of wisdom. Um, there was something that I had seen, and it has stated that you create your own opportunities. Success doesn't just come and find you; you have to go out and get it. So again, you create your own opportunities. Success doesn't just come and find you; you have to go out and get it. Um, is there any words of wisdom that you wanted to give, before we got out of here?
Keep pushing, and like, I went through several clinics before I found the one that I'm at now. I just, I would rebel, say this isn't right, whatever. And that was, my integrity was, it has, throughout my entire life, has always been intimidating to others,
Mm,
because integrity is my top value as my own being, for me. And that's
that
me.
is so crazy. I wish I could hold on. I can show you. I can show you. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So can you see this board?
Yes.
What's my first value?
telling you, I'm telling you that the universe, it knows.
Right.
Just listen. I would say keep pushing. Like like, I love the clinic I'm at now. People, when I say divorce after 13 years, they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." No, 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 no. Don't be sorry. It's actually very beautiful, because so many of us are trapped in this, wanting to be validated by being a wife and being married, and for how, like that. I think that our culture tends to go into it in the hopes of having it as some type of security blanket,
Hmm.
and we don't take the time, not like we really should, to really pay attention to who it is that we're marrying.
Right.
And I think now is the time, at 36 years old, like, you
Hmm.
know what I mean? I figured it out, and 2 kids, I just, you have to do what's healthy. Always keep in mind what's healthy for them, what's healthy for you. Because if you can't survive and thrive, you can't be a good mom. You can't be a good therapist. You can't be a good dad. You can't be a good brother or sister. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love that, Claude. I love that. And y'all already know mine. Remember, someone has to see your greatness. Why not start with yourself? Stay blessed, always finesse. Definitely trust the Most High's process. The truest keys to success. Claudia, this was amazing. This was really, really a good episode. We definitely one day have to do a part 2. What do you think?
Yeah.
Maybe we can go, I guess, like a little more in depth about things that you do, your career, the spectrum. Again, do a more in-depth teaching on that as well. And just I don't know. Well, I can tell them we're gonna be building her brand too. Claudia, she's gonna have a brand too, because again, like she has such a very strong testimony, and I know this is like her first time kind of like being on a podcast. So this was, her run at understanding how the flow of podcasting and things of that nature goes. But my mission is honestly to get her set up with her own podcast as well, so that she can educate people again on the spectrum that she is so passionate about, but also just to share her story as a mom, how she's going through life as a single parent, the journey that she took to help other individuals with their mental and physical health. I feel like she definitely has just so much power and so much motivation that she can instill with other people, that it just doesn't need to go unnoticed. So I had to when I met her, I said, I'm gonna get you on my podcast. I've never done it. I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna get you up here. I feel like you have a very powerful story, and she even stated herself during that conversation. She was like, she's always felt that. So now is the time. Now is
Well,
the great.
I've had like 20 people come up to me, like whether it's in the clinic, my coworkers and stuff. They're like, Claudia, you should start a YouTube channel. And I'm like,
Yep.
what? I don't know about any of that.
So
Yeah.
so I'm gonna do what I need to do to make sure that she gets set up. So y'all please be on the lookout for that. I'm definitely gonna ensure that she starts her brand, and we're gonna do a lot of amazing things, for the community, for her and her family. It's gonna be overall, a God giving. Yeah, it's gonna be God given. That's it.
Throwing
So
in the towel.
I really, I really appreciate you, Claude. To the audience, listen, continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the link. This allows you guys to tap in with, again, the platform on all social media platforms. Soon, I'll have her own personal affiliate link up here as well, so that she can, when you guys click my link, you can just go to the affiliates, and she'll have all of her brand ideas and things of that nature up there as well. So yeah. We're gonna get going. We're gonna get shaking. You feel me? So with that being said, thank you guys. I love you. We're all even. We're all tied in. We're all connected. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Love.
Bless you.